PG Sambo Intel Classic.
Welcome back. We have Stork at the top right of the map. The map Andromeda. Again, all these maps are new maps in this event. These are maps that have not yet been tested thoroughly by these pro gamers on the professional level. They have all, of course, been confirmed by Kespa as legitimate esport maps. And what that means is that neither of these players have a whole lot of experience on this map. They have not really discovered the ideal builds on this map, so to speak. Certainly they have been able to look at the map beforehand and practice on it with their teammates beforehand, but it's not clear as to if they've really figured the map out, if they really feel comfortable with it. And that's a big part of StarCraft. This is actually the only RTS game with a constantly changing map flow. I don't even know if that sentence made sense. We're constantly getting new maps in the professional level of StarCraft to change the metagame, to keep the game constantly evolving. It makes it really different from a game which is not, for instance, Warcraft 3 is a very good game as well, but they've been sticking with the same 5 maps since the beginning. It might be more than 5, but this is something that they kind of came up with to kind of keep the flow going and keep the game interesting, and it's really turned out to be a massive success. So we see that Stork is doing for the fast gateway mine. Again, doing what we saw last time. I'm curious if he's going to make that barracks a little bit closer to the command center. And it looks like, no, he's not. He's actually going to make it farther away again. It seems like he's pretty comfortable with his Marine micro, which, hey, props to him for that. Now, it looks like, unfortunately for Mind, he will be spotted. Fortune is against him. He was spotted first by Stork scouting probe. Stork could have scouted to the bottom left, but instead his StarCraft senses were tingling, and he did manage to go in the right direction. I also saw that I don't believe Stork has gotten his Vespian gas geyser yet. We might see a fast Nexus, I'm not sure. He's still not gotten it, so that's clearly not a mistake. That means that we're probably going to see Manor Pylon. Sup. That sucks. So he puts the pylon there in the mineral patch to block off those 2 minerals so that SCVs cannot mine directly. They have to go around to the bag. So this is a type of technical rush we see a lot of good StarCraft players do. I'm actually a big fan of the Manor Pylon. It's a strategy, though, that requires a lot of practice. You can't just wing the Manor Pylon rush and hope that it works, because you can end up getting way farther behind than your opponent is, even if you got a lot of workers. So the advantages and disadvantages of this right now is that Stork, first of all, does not have his Vespian gas geyser, which means he will not get Dragoons out. And if a Vulture Bikes can come out in time, it could be very, very difficult for the Protoss to deal with. But right now, it's going to be up to whether or not Mind can hold up this rush. The Manor Pylon, the reason why it's called Manor Pylon, of course, is to be ironic, because the fact that it makes people so mad when this happens to them, when the Pylon gets put in their mineral patches and messes up their mining pattern. So he's going to go ahead in here and attack a few of these SCVs, the ones that are getting drawn to the back due to the pathfinding AI because of the Manor Pylon forcing them to go around. SCV's being pulled off. He could target that one at the factory down there. This would delay the... nope, the factory's finished and Vulture Bikes will soon be out. And it looks like the Zelts are going to back off. Stork knows all he has to do is keep those SCVs off of the minerals, and Mind knows that he has to keep those SCVs with the Marines, otherwise he's going to be really bad news. But look at this. Mind is actually controlling his units very well. But if this Zealot can get in here and do enough damage, that could all turn around, and it looks like he's managing to do that right now. Here comes a few more Zealot hits, taking out a few more Marines, but this Zealot will be taken out. Now, what is Stork's course of action? Will he get the Vespian gas geyser? Yes, he has, and he's now gotten the Cybernetics core. Going for the fast robo. I believe he will have a Dragoon out in time. Knowing Stork, after casting so many of his games, I can tell you he's very, very calculated. And you normally don't see him fumble the game like that. Or at least not that early on. Because he did fumble the game last time, so I shouldn't say always. Putting a pylon there to block off the scouting SCV and force it back around so the Dragoon can take it off, and then canceling it. Mind does have a good idea, though, of what his opponent is planning on doing, and that's a fast Robo Bay. It looks like Mind's actually going to move out now. Now, I have to say that Robo Bay is pretty fast, so maybe we'll see Reavers? I don't know. So Mind was in a pretty tough position back there, a position where he handled it very well, and he did deflect the rush, but he did lose a lot of valuable time in mining. I'm actually surprised that Mind even pushed forward with such a small amount of units. That's a very easy way to completely and totally lose control of the game. And once again, Fast Command Center seems to be the build that Mind is most comfortable with, and Fast Command Center can be a little bit fragile against a Fast Reaver, which is exactly what Stork is doing. So Stork will be taking that mineral-only Expo rather than the Vespian Gas Expo with minerals, which is a little bit more dangerous to take. Stork taking the safe path this game. And pretty by-the-book opening here by Mind. But it's an opening that's been proven to work. Terran basically gets siege mode in a few turrets, sets up an expansion, and then starts to pump a lot of units out of a lot of factories for an inevitable Terran push, meanwhile harassing with a few Vulture Bites. Reaver has been picked up. Will he get another one? No, he will not. Instead, he's going to move out with just that Reaver, probably put a Zealot or a Dragoon in there to help draw tank fire. And note that Mind, it looks like, will be going for the non-mineral only expansion, the expansion that's a bit riskier to take, but the one that is more rewarding if you can manage to secure it, whereas Stork is going for the mineral only Expo, the one that I believe only has 5 or 6 mineral patches. 5 mineral patches, in fact. So, a big question we have to ask ourselves is this Reaver drop going to do enough damage? Here it comes now. One Reaver shot. And it looks like he will end up taking out this turret, but it looks like these Zealots went to a bit of a waste. And here he comes rushing in with these Dragoons! And it looks like Mind might not actually be able to secure this at all. Those SCVs are going to have to retreat, but they could be going into the clutches of the Diabolical Reaver, which is now ready to take them out, picking it up just before the tank can get it. And, wow, this is now really bad for Mind. And the Reaver will manage to take out that tank, dropping it again, and picking off the rest of the SCVs over there. And he better be careful not to lose that shuttle once that turret finishes. He will now have to back off. Dragoons will take out the turret if he's careful enough, or Reaver. And now Mind is in an absolutely awful position, and I can even see that Stork is expanding on the mini-map. Here comes the Reaver to drop and take out one more tank, but he has to be so careful because that Reaver, he is on life support right now. He is so low on HP. But all he has to do is keep that Reaver alive and do a little bit more harassment, and it's going to turn out to be bad news for Mind. So I'm not sure what exactly Mind's options are right now. Mind is going to have to deal with this Reaver, but the longer that it takes for him to do that, the larger of an army Stork is going to have when Mind finally decides to push. So Stork is in an absolutely phenomenally great position right now. And he knows that. So here comes the one tank. Oh! I think he misfired and ended up hitting that tank. The command center rather than that tank. Now look, we can see he's making a lot of gaylays over here. Everything is going according to plan for Stork. So, Mind, you are in a lot of trouble. Probe now peeking around the map, perhaps for a hidden expo. Maybe he's going to hide carrier tech, I'm not sure. Citadel or Zealot Lakes. Wow, Mind is in an awful, awful place.